Is this the one that needs replacing, Mama Luma?
That's right, Turk. Once you've done that, we should be good to go.
All right, let's fire it up.
You should get a visual once we're back online.
Sounds good, Mama Luma.
Turk to Cat, the canteen is up and running, and we're right in the middle of the area most affected by the blackout.
That's great, Turk. Hi there, junior soldiers. If you're just tuning in, we're experiencing a power outage in part of the city. A whole neighborhood without lights or power can be a scary place, so Turk is out there in the mobile command unit. Turk, we're glad you're there to shed some light on the subject.
That's why we're here, to offer hope, help, and support. People have already started coming out to get a better look at the neighborhood. Our special lights are like a ballpark out here. We have some flashlights and batteries to hand out. We have bottles of water and blankets. Hopefully people will feel a lot safer once we get completely set up. Lots of people have come out to help.
That sounds great, Turk. I'll be there in a bit. I'm just pulling together some extra supplies we stored in the treehouse. There's some candles and matches. Whoa, no way!
What is it, Bram?
There's an artifact I've been looking for, and I found it packed in with the boxes of matches.
Why would it be in there with those?
Easy, because it's a box of matches.
Bram, no way! Are you telling me you found...
A Lights in Darkest England matchbox.
Oh, wow, Bram, that's awesome!
Why don't you tell the junior soldiers watching a little more about that, Bram?
Sure thing, Kat. You know what? Let's fire up the treehouse holotable, because we're going back to the 80s. The 1880s, that is. London, England. At that time, there were two kinds of matches. White phosphorus matches and red phosphorus matches. Back then, people used candles and lamps for light and heat, so matches were pretty important. Because the need for matches was really high, the men who owned the companies that made the matches figured they'd make a lot of money if they hired a lot of people to make the matches for them. Sometimes hiring whole families who would make the matches in their homes. The only problem was no one made sure that the families were working in safe conditions, whether it was a factory or their home. Another huge problem was that everyone wanted matches that you could light by striking them anywhere, and those were the white phosphorus matches. White phosphorus was good for making matches that strike anywhere, but it was terrible to work with. It's extremely poisonous. All it takes is just a little bit to get into your system, and things get bad, quickly. Back then, with the work conditions already being pretty bad, add on top of that working with this really dangerous chemical, lots of workers got terribly sick, and many died from just trying to work enough to support their families. Things were pretty bad, but soon, we'd see the lights in darkest England.
That's right. Not long after starting the Salvation Army, William Booth had an idea to change what was happening to the matchbox workers. You see, there was another way to make matches, a less dangerous way, by using red phosphorus instead. The process wasn't dangerous at all. The only downside was that you had to strike the matches on a box.
Which, if you have to choose between that and poisoning people, isn't really a hard choice.
Well, you'd be surprised. Booth had to convince people. When the Salvation Army started its own matchbox company, they paid people more than the dangerous companies, let them work in safer places, and finally convinced people that even though the red matches weren't as convenient, they were the responsible choice. And they called the matches
Lights in Darkest England.
Just like Jesus taught us in the parable of the Good Samaritan, taking care of the physical needs of others is part of how we love our neighbors. And just like the way the early church took care of the widows and orphans, there are those around us that need our help. And strengthened by God's great love, we should go out and do everything we can to see that people are cared for. Speaking of, how's it going out there, Turk?
Things are looking good, Kat. The power company is here and using some of our lights to help fix the problem. Hopefully everyone will be able to go back to their well-lit homes soon. Man, remembering the story of how the early Salvation Army went out there and changed things for the better for those who really needed it, it really gives me the courage to go and do the same, you know? Bram, I'm really glad you found that matchbox.
Me too, buddy. Me too. I'm headed out with more supplies, so I'll be there in a sec. Mama Luma, can you help me out with directions?
I'll make sure you get there safe and sound, Bram.
Alrighty then. Turk, I'm on my way.
I'll be here. Hey, Kat, we'll keep you posted on what's going on.
Sounds good, Turk. Mr. B is headed your way with some replacement light bulbs. You never know when you'll need them.
Sweet. You're right about that.
And Turk,
What's up?
keep lighting it up out there.
Will do, Kat. Will do.